Hey guys, it's Captain Harris, and we are finally back from Zagreb, Croatia. Still adjusting to the time a little bit. Keep waking up at 4 a.m., so...
Getting old.
Yeah, I'd like to get a full night's sleep. But anyway, it's not what we're here for. We are here to chat about the production of Legacy of the Beast 2022. Everything from the set list down to the stage production as well. So
even the smiles on Dave's face. But yeah, we've seen a lot, we've done a lot, and now it's finally time to digest what we saw.
It's time to chat a bit about it. So, what do you want to start with? You want to start with the production, or like the set list, or what?
Well, why don't we go through the set list and just, because we obviously, going into this blind as the first show, we don't know what they're going to play. We've talked about our speculations of, oh, are they going to open with Senjutsu stuff? Are they going to open with Aces High like originally? So they went with Senjutsu. Boy,
was I wrong on some of that speculation video, by the way.
I can't believe I was even right about one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, anyway, first song of the set list. You know, spoilers if you didn't read it in the title. Spoilers.
Senjutsu was the first song.
Was the first song. And so, you know, that left the thought of where does Aces High go, and we'll get to that later. But anyways.
Senjutsu, I've said what I've said in the past about Senjutsu, and I have not been much of a fan of that song. But as I always do with Maiden, I let them sell it to me live. And they did. They sold it, and I loved it. I loved it.
That was like his least favorite song on the album. He's like, oh, I can't do Senjutsu. I'm just not a fan of that. And I'm like, I don't have any problem with it myself, and I really enjoyed it live, but I'm like, maybe you'll feel different when you hear it live.
Well, it's like Maiden, some songs, when you just hear it on the album, are just like, eh, and then you see it with all the trimmings. Yeah. Anyway, what do you have to say about that song?
I really enjoyed it. It didn't make me like it any more or any less. I like it about the same. We sang along.
There was a big drum.
Yeah, there was big drum. It was funny to talk a little bit about production. Before the curtains had dropped, like we were noticing, I was like, hey, the risers where Bruce goes and runs up, they're higher than normal, and oh, there's no war stuff, there's only clouds, and James was like, I bet that's like the gatefold of the album, and stuff like that. And then when they turned the lights down after Doctor, and they started like the intro, there's a giant drum over there.
That can be heard in our vlog.
I know. But yeah. So, that was really awesome. I thought the use of the, blow-up towers on the side was really,
Yeah, inflatable. I think that the building behind them was also inflatable.
Yeah.
It seems like they're all inflatable.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but the towers, like, that was handy, because it's like, you know, the Final Frontier towers and the Book of Souls ones, they're all, like, big structures, but these were just, like, easy to just deflate and drop down and shift it.
I don't know if the middle one was an inflatable, but I feel like it has to be, because that is a huge piece to be lugging around.
And it took them ages to take all those roofing tiles off.
Yeah, but we'll get there. But okay, so Senjutsu, big fan. Eddie comes out, first song, Samurai Eddie.
Yeah.
And he looked amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I like him like a lot better than I like the Trooper Eddie, and I even thought that one was pretty cool. But like, I don't know, he just looks like really clean and like perfectly done. So
and you could tell they really rehearsed it to where his stances look really good. Where he's holding the obviously Eddie is like the everybody take a picture moment. So he was ready with his stance, which looked really good.
Yeah.
I think Bruce. I mean, for a first performance, it was basically perfect.
I was very impressed with them because, like, you know, we saw Book of Souls opening night 2016, and it was a little bit bumpy, but that night in Croatia was like...
It was like 95% there.
Yeah, I was very impressed, especially because, like, it's been 2.5 years since they played a show, they're playing brand new songs, so
yeah,
very
impressive. Moving on into Stratego, of course, now we're getting into the three that are now, once we knew it was Senjutsu, these are expected.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about Stratego?
I liked it. I think it was my least favorite of the 3 new songs they played, but it was good, you know?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It didn't stick out in the set, but I I looked forward to that song anyway, because it is just a fun single.
Bop. Just a fun, quick song.
Yeah, and it turns out the set list could use some of those.
Yeah.
So it worked out. They got one.
I don't have anything special to say about Stratego. It was really, really cool to hear.
Great performance.
Great performance, but it, like, the other two were the ones that, like, blew me away.
So next, of course, Writing on the Wall. Adrian starts it out with an acoustic. Big old grandpa guitars are back. And it was so awesome.
Yeah, it really was. And they had, like, the backdrop, they had two bikes going off to, like, the side of the temple in the middle.
It was nice to see that song get its own backdrop.
And, you know, that's kind of Bruce's labor of love with Belshazzar's Feast and the music video and everything that went into that. So you could really see him looking for the audience reaction on that song.
Oh, he was looking right out there. And
we were giving it to him.
And we even saw today, the video that Maiden put out, he specifically said, you know, crowd's taken really well to Writing on the Wall. Yeah, so it's a monster. Oh, that Adrian solo! I've been listening to Writing on the Wall a lot lately, and it's become one of my favorite songs on the album. And all I was ever thinking is, I can't wait to see Adrian solo live, and he didn't disappoint. Like, that was really, really great. Yeah, so really no gripes about the first three songs. They performed them basically perfectly. And the stage production was really cool. So yeah, I mean, when those lights went up and you saw how colorful it all was and how everything was 3D and stuck out, I was like, how are they going to take this down? It was like the stage of the whole show. Yeah, the roof, as I mentioned, the little roof tiles on the riser, the crew was down there like yanking them off and bringing them back for a few minutes. Yeah, and they did that. So after those three, obviously the question marks start bubbling up around our heads, like what are they gonna do now? And the sound effects that they used after the Trooper in the previous Legacy shows came on. And we could see the crew in the dark, you know, trying to remove all the Senjutsu stuff, and they were all just like, "How do we do this?" And then eventually the lights come up. Revelations. Yeah, and they had like the part of the stage that's like, you know, the drapery over the risers. That was different. Like, that wasn't the same as it used to be. They kind of did away with the realms. Like, they had Senjutsu realm, and then they just had like a Legacy of the Beast realm, basically, and that kind of just stayed there. That it was like iron. It was supposed to look like iron, like posts and stuff like that. Pretty cool. I thought, like, I didn't even notice until they took them off that the Senjutsu stuff was just draped over the walls, and they just tore it off. So, I mean, that's some good drapes, because it looked legit. But yeah, it's just basically Senjutsu realm and Legacy realm, and that went into Revelations, which I'm so glad they kept. I absolutely love having Revelations in the set. Obviously, the first time I ever got see it was 2018, so it took a while, you know, into my shows to actually be able to see that song. It's one of my favorite Maiden songs. Yeah, I can't imagine that show without Revelations with the stained glass background and Bruce in his rags. he performs it so well. I know. You know, it's one of his favorite songs to perform as well. So moving on, this is the only extra change they made, or a song added in, and it was Blood Brothers, which I thought was quite, I don't know, unexpected, especially where it was. Yeah, but I know that in the news and stuff that came out when it was close to time, Rod Smallwood was like, oh, we're putting some songs in that are like, you know, they deal with the times and stuff like that, and, you know, with all the conflict and stuff in the world, it's like understandable that they put in Blood Brothers. I do understand why they put it in. My only gripe with it is that we kind of just had it with Book of Souls, and it would have been nice if we're adding in a new song. It would be nice to get something a bit different. But it's also still been 5 years. It's not long. It's been 5 years, so, you know, I enjoyed it. And we forgot before they played Blood Brothers. Blood Brothers, as Steph says. Bruce did talk to the crowd for the only time of the whole show, which is rare for him. And he basically just said, you know, after the last 3 years have been so screwed up, and we're here to try and make it right. And that leading into Blood Brothers was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I did like about it. After Blood Brothers, we had, once Blood Brothers was all finished up, a tsunami of fog hit us in the face. And as soon as we see the backdrop, we know Sign of the Cross is about to start. I was pretty taken aback by how quickly Sign of the Cross showed up in the show.
Yeah, because, you know, we've seen the original Legacy so many times that song was like, oh, we're getting near the end of the main set now, and then that came on, I'm like, has there been that many songs yet?
Well, it's like, looking back at the old set, there was so many songs in just the War Realm part.
Yeah.
And then you would get For the Greater Good of God, Revelations, and Wicker Man, and all that before that. Yeah. So, I think I saw that it was song number 9 in the original Legacy set, and now it's song number 6. So it shows up really quickly, and, you know, for like the centerpiece epic with the pyro, it feels a bit weird where it is.
Yeah, maybe a little early.
Yeah.
But it might just be because that's where I'm used to, you know, I'm used to it being later in the set.
Yeah, after that, we get Flight of Icarus, just like it used to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're now just like at the midpoint of the show, and we're at Flight of Icarus.
Yeah.
Which was basically like, okay, this is Sayonara.
But it wasn't.
We get Icarus as normal, and then Fear of the Dark as normal. And then they moved Hallowed into the main set.
Always glad to hear Hallowed Be Thy Name. You know, I don't think that, you know, there's a few, like, Fear of the Dark I could, go without for a tour or two, but Hallowed, I'd, like, always be happy to have in the set list, so.
Hallowed, I'll never complain about, and I'll never complain about where it is, because that's just a song that they could put anywhere, and it would work. And then we get Number the Beast and Iron Maiden, as expected, just like Legacy went down, you know the drill. I remember thinking as we waited, did they not play the Trooper? And, of course, the lights come up, and Nico counts in, and the galloping commences, and we get another Eddie.
The same Eddie as before.
Yep, so I think it was really interesting, actually, to see Trooper as the first encore song. Because as far as the set goes before that, there wasn't too many, like, exciting bangers.
Bangers. Yeah,
so to put this here, it's like, okay, well, this is like the beginning of the climax of the show,
right?
Which is usually 3 songs, and it was for the last Legacy shows. So Trooper, awesome. Eddie comes out, awesome. And then the backdrop changes, and we're like, are they really about to play Klansman?
Yeah, I thought that song was gone for sure.
I was absolutely sure Klansman was gone.
Positive Klansman was gone. And to be honest, I don't really like where it is in the set. I don't think it fits, like, for me, it doesn't fit there very well.
It was like, it worked, the old Legacy show worked so well because of the ebbs and flows of it. It would always be like a fast banger and then a moody song, and it keep flipping like that. But this one was just so, like, Trooper into Klansman at the end of the show. Yeah. Feels quite, like,
strange.
It's just strange. I don't want to say anticlimactic, but it is like, okay, Trooper, we're going to hit the last couple songs and then we're out of here. And it's like, Klansman, okay, we got like a 7-minute song.
With a nice slow bass intro.
And it doesn't, like, we love the song.
Yeah, I love the song, but one song that I thought was going to be in the set that I'm actually really upset isn't in the set is 2 Minutes to Midnight. And if I had my way, I would have swapped 2 minutes for Klansman and just made that, like, can you imagine the encore of Trooper, 2 minutes, and then the next one, Run to the Hills, as was played after that? Like, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely incredible. And I don't know, maybe they don't have the energy for that. But
I would love to see 2 minutes in the encore.
But I just, like,
it's missing. I mean, we'll talk about that after.
I didn't even like realize it was gone until we walked out, and Chris was like, "Man, I can't believe they didn't play 2 minutes." So I was just like, "Oh my God, you're right. I felt like something was missing." I think that was probably my least favorite change in the set.
Me too.
Was putting Klansman there, but like, I'm not gonna complain it's in there because it's like they're back. I will eat up anything they put out, but it's just like, you know, it is, you know, I still have my favorites and my least favorites, and that would be my least favorite choice that they made is just putting Klansman there.
I agree. So. Ending then.
Run to the Hills.
Run to the Hills ends it, and we hit the normal, you know, Bruce does the scream, he runs gets the TNT box, big explosion, hooray.
You could see behind them where the backdrop was, the cable going down. And, I mean, we're not stupid. Rod said we'd be getting the Spitfire. And why else would this little wire be going down slowly behind the stage other than to pick up the Spitfire for Aces High?
And it's funny because, like, Run to the Hills is set up to be the closing song.
Closing song.
So then, you know, everyone's ready to, like, oh, maybe I can catch a pick.
The lights go down, they disappear. And a minute goes by, and then, like, Churchill's speech comes on, and everybody's just like...
It was pretty surprising and cool.
Yeah.
I think they took some chances.
Well, the thing I was thinking is, like, they broke a lot of their own rules with this.
This has never been done.
Like, with Eddie coming out for the first song, the Trooper being in the encore, Aces High closing the set, because, like, you know, if you watched our speculation video, it's like, oh, you know, Aces High either opens the set or opens the encore. It's like, you know, it's never closed the set, so I'm, you know, I'm really happy to see them, like, trying new things and, you know, doing something different and giving other stuff a chance.
Well, that's the thing. That's their choices with this is, do they want to take a chance by playing different songs, which we would like.
Yeah.
But their other choice is just making
play around.
I mean, it just seems like they scrambled up all the songs from Legacy and threw them on the table. Like, that's the order.
You know, it was funny, like, the whole set, after the show, I told James, like, the whole set, I just felt like I was in one of those weird dreams. Like, I have, like, concert dreams all the time and stuff like that, and it just felt like, the set list felt like something that my brain in a dream would have come up with. Just like, oh, that song there, ooh, that's weird.
But I remember at the time, it felt quite confusing and kind of off-putting to hear I mean, we're exhausted, we're sweaty, we have been crushed on the barrier for hours, and we're starving, and we need water. And then it's just like, the show's beginning again.
Smack us with Aces High, and I wasn't complaining. I took a little break during Clansman. I'm like, I don't have the energy for this. So I sat and I like relaxed a bit and just like, you know, bopped my head. And then Run to the Hills. I'm like, I love Run to the Hills. I will always participate in Run to the Hills. And then Aces High, and then I was just like, I need water.
From a performance perspective, I think it's really risky. For them to put Aces High here. I mean, this song is up there for Bruce to sing.
Yeah, it's one of the most demanding songs.
And he will sometimes struggle with a few of those lines because it's such a demanding song for the last song. And that's, I'm sure, why they've never thought about doing it at the end before. But I'm also thinking that the set was kind of designed in a way to save his voice a bit better. Yeah. Because he would waste a lot of his energy on Aces High and then Where Eagles Dare right off the bat. Yeah. And for anybody that saw 2019, he would sometimes struggle right at the end of the show with a couple of notes just because I think he was wiped from starting like that. But like Hallowed and everything, he sang perfectly. In fact, Aces High was the only song that was just like, you can tell he's getting a little tired. But yeah, overall, of course we love the show.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely amazing to be back for the first time in almost 3 years. I guess 2.5 is closer, but it's like it's been like a really long time. We were obviously really looking forward to this. I've always said they could play a set list full of my least favorite songs and I'd be having the time of my life. So absolutely, totally appreciate being there and seeing everything. Missed 2 Minutes to Midnight so much. Like when I realized I was gone, I was just like, oh no, that was one of my favorite parts of the set list. But,
just for note-taking's sake, the songs that were taken out: Where Eagles Dare, 2 Minutes to Midnight, For the Greater Good of God, Wicker Man, and Evil That Men Do. That's 5 songs taken out, and 4 replaced them. Yeah. So it also kind of felt like it could use another song, especially a shorter one like Wicker Man or 2 Minutes.
But it was also a pretty demanding set, so I understand why they didn't put another in there. But all in all, if I had to pick between the last set list and the current one, I would still pick the last one. Though it's like, I love the Senjutsu songs and stuff, but like, I don't know. For me, I guess I could pick later on, right? Because it's kind of jarring to be at the first show.
The first show is very confusing,
it's a bit jarring,
especially if you have expectations.
So I won't say this for sure yet, because I'll get like a few more shows and kind of like get a better feel for it. But currently, I prefer the first set list to this one. Not that I don't like this one, but the first one was just like, you know, just punching you in the face every single song.
It was a dream set list.
It really was, but we'll see how I feel in September when we're going...
When we get used to it.
Yeah, when we're going on our little US run that we're doing, so...
Yeah. The only thing to end with is the boys looked extremely happy to be back on stage.
Oh yeah, you love to see it because it's like, we're happy, they're happy, like, you know...
The most animated person was Adrian, but it's so good to see them back and they're healthy and they're still performing.
They're happy
so
to be
well.
doing it too, it seems. So you know.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm so glad we went to the first show.
Me too. And if any of you guys are going to the tour, we wish you an amazing time. Enjoy it to the fullest. And if you're going to the U.S., maybe we'll see you somewhere out there because we're doing a good handful of shows there too. So feel free to come say hi if you see us.
Yeah, say hi. We'd love to talk to you.
We'll talk your ear off about Maiden. And yeah.
What we do best.
Yep. So
all right.
That's all we've got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all the new subscribers we got after our Zagreb trip.
Yeah, very much.
We appreciate you guys sticking around, and hope we can keep you entertained for the next foreseeable future.
See you next time.
Bye.